Welcome to the Man of Thought, aka the villain of the Black Panther of Nigeria. Today's episode, we have things to discuss, which we are going to be talking more on endurance. I'll be giving out a few moments for my audience to join me if you want to be joining me live today. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? How was your night? How was your weekend? I want to talk about the subject on endurance. As we all know, we all go through challenges in life. So let me give out few moments, people who wants to join me live, and so we can start the conversation for today. Yeah, good morning. Thanks for joining. Hello, Davon. Good day. How are you doing? Thanks for joining today's conversation. Um, Devon says, good morning. How are you? I'm doing great. How are you also? Um, I have some discussions we're going to be having this morning. Um, and I'm just waiting for my audience, for some people to join me. What are we talking about? Today we are definitely talking about endurance. That's exactly what we are talking about. Endurance. And we are going to dive into a different part of understanding what endurance is to us and looking at it from the biblical standpoint, looking at it from the religious standpoint. Okay, Devon is from Togo. My closest brother. Please, for those people who are just joining live, if you want to be part of today's conversation, double tap your screen and show some like. Once we have 5 likes, we are going to, yeah, the number kind of change sometimes. You said there's 8 people. Yeah, sometimes there might be 16 and the number keeps changing. The number keeps changing because some people would swipe off, some people will come in, and the rest of it. The weekend was all right. Please, for those of us who are just joining live, be part of this conversation by double tapping your screen and showing likes. Let's get to 5 likes and we start the conversation for today. Let us have 5 likes and we start today's conversation. So we have 3. We just have 2 more to go and we start the conversation for today. If we can make it snappy, that would be great. Please double tap your screen and show some likes. Do I call it likes or do I call it thumbs up? Thumbs up. Maybe I'm using the wrong language by saying like. Thumbs up. Let us make it 5 and so we can proceed on to this conversation. We have 3 thumbs up. Let us have two more and we go into today's conversation. Hello, everyone. Okay, we have four. We just need one more to go and we start conversation for today. Artsman, thanks for joining. Good morning from African. Good morning from Nigeria specifically. I think our time and Togo time would almost be the same. So please, one more like and we proceed on today's conversation, on today's subject. Just one more thumbs up. One more thumbs up and we can start today's conversation. All right, we have five right now, so we can start the topic for today. Blacks, welcome. Thanks for joining. I might hold on the idea of the charts so we can dive into the conversation for today. And later we can come in and look at the subject. So I have hidden the chart. You might be writing right now. I might not be able to see it. So understand that at the moment the chart has been hidden. So good morning, everyone. I hope we have a great weekend. Today we want to talk about the word endurance, simply because I have told people over and over, and it has been an obvious principle and experience of life that we all go through pain. As you watch me from your screen, you are going through your own challenges in life. I am also going through my own challenges in life. You are going through your pains in life. I am also going through my pains in life. In fact, maybe you are rich or maybe you are poor. We all are suffering. We all experience a moment of suffering. Now, you might want to categorize your suffering to be exclusive suffering. You might want to say your own kind of suffering is a VIP suffering because you have some mansions. You might want to say that you are in a big man level of pain. But whatever your pains are, your experience of life is that you suffer a little, you go through pain, and you rejoice sometimes. And so, when we look at life, what we have missing today in today's society is the ability to endure. A man who finds a wife complains about his wife. The man that does not have a wife complains about the society of not having a woman. A woman who has a husband complains about her husband. A woman who is single says there are no good men in the society. A woman who cannot bear children complains that the society is dangerous for them to bring in child. The one that has children are complaining that these children are giving them headache. How I wish I don't have you children. How I wish you are not part of my life. I wouldn't have been suffering. I've remembered statements like, if not for these children, my life would have been better. For those who their life is ruined, even when they don't have children, they say, even if I have children, I would not experience so much pain or emptiness in my soul. So, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Everyone are going through their own pain. I remember when you talk to some ladies in today's world, they will tell you that the reason why our parents, our mothers, were in a long-lasting relationship was simply because they have no option. And because they have no option, they decided to endure with our fathers. When you see the ones that think they have the all options, now they cannot even stick with a man because they think they are strong, independent, useful, great, confident, whatever. In fact, an individual have become a nation on their own. And then they say it's because I'm a strong woman. At the end of the day, look at the acts, look at the perception, look at the experience of a single person, and you will shed spit on the floor and you say, "Twe, I do not want my life to be like this person," regardless of the fact that they might appear to be doing great financially, but within them they feel emptiness inside their soul. And then when you ask our parents, why did you decide to endure in this relationship? Most of our parents will not tell us, oh, it's because of anything. Our parents would find a reason, and their reasons will be, it's because of you children, because I love you children. And this is the reason why psychologically children have heard about this and they begin to push more love towards their mother. But the reality about life is that we all suffer. Single man, married woman, single man, married man, single women, married women, anyone, anything you do in life, suffering is more or less like a certificate that has been given to every single human that exists on the surface of this earth. The problem is that a lot of us try to run away from our suffering and our experience in life. I always tell people, I say, one of the worst things you can do in life is to resist pain. Pain is always there to teach you something. Are you willing to learn from what the pain is there to teach you? And so we are going to be looking into the biblical path. We are going to be looking at what did the Bible say about endurance for the sake of those who goes to church. For the sake of those who go to church just to show the color of their clothes, the biggest car that they drive. We are going to talk to them, and we are also going to talk to ourselves. What is the importance of endurance? And I tell people, if you make a decision that you have been through stuff and you decide to hold on to your pain and you define life through the lens of your pain, all you have done is you have remained in pain. And I tell people over and over again, the pain you think you have been through, someone have been through worst. I always tell people, like, before I am able to become who I am today, business have been burnt over and over again. My houses have been burnt over and over again. Sometimes I even lose count of the experiences and the pains of my life, losing houses, house over house, my house being destroyed, my house being burnt. Sometimes I tell you too, when I do a deeper reflection, I remember there are 4. Sometimes I tell you I've slept on the dustbin, and I say I slept over in the dustbin for over 1.5 months. When I did the calculation and I remembered what I have been through, I remembered I was sleeping on the dustbin for over 4 months. When I started doing some reflection, I realized that in today's world, I underestimate the pain I've been through. And I always tell people, I do not define life through the experiences of my pain. I see life as a gift. The only reason why I experience whatever I experience is simple. It is basically because I'm conscious and I'm alive. But there is an importance of enduring things in our life. When I speak, sometimes some people would say that, how come do you have this understanding that you are having right now? How come do you talk about the things that you talk about? Consciousness spirituality is part of it, but I have been through a lot in my life. And I believe that there are people who have been through worse than whatever I've been through. The difference between us and them is that we decide to see those experiences of our life to just be an experience because we have taken the lesson and we have moved on. And part of the lessons there is to make us resilient. Resilience is different from resisting. We do not resist pain, we are resilient against pain. In a sense that whatever pain is given to us, we take it because we know it is part of our life. Is there any good thing? Is there any great one that has existed in the past that has not been through pain? The answer is no. Let us take some time and look into the book of Romans chapter 5 verse 3 to 4. Romans chapter 5 verse 3 to 4. And it says that, and not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. Now I will read it from a different version. Let me go through let me read it from a different version here. I don't know which book is this, but this might either be King James version or something else, or a New Testament. What do they call it? New, because we have all kinds of Bible these days. Well, on this one, it explains it a little bit clearer. It says, not only that we rejoice in our suffering, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. I repeat again. It says not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. I always tell people this whenever people tell me that, how can I get a good woman in my life? I said, there's only one step to get a good woman in your life, and it is very simple. Become a good man. You have to be good yourself to be able to identify what you want. If you are a great footballer, you know a good football to play with. If you are a great basketballer, you know the kind of basketball that is good. If you are a boxer, you know the kind of glove that is better for you to use in padding or punching bag. If you are not good at something, you cannot recognize a good thing. When you talk about looking for a good woman, what do you mean by a good woman? A good woman simply means a woman that can endure, a woman with a good character, a woman who can take things and be with you through thin and thick. That is what it means to be a good woman. The question is, are you a good man? If you are not a good man and you are looking for a good woman, woe unto you, because you ain't gonna find anything. And I say this, the best thing you can capitalize your money on, I can bank on many people in my life. Not because these people do not have the ability to betray me. I say again, I can bank the people within my environment and the people within my surrounding that I choose close to myself. I can bank my money on them. not because they do not have the ability to betray me, not because they do not have the ability to change, but because I know their character. Because I know that perhaps they even do things that does not align with my wants. I know it is not part of their character. Because when you test the character of an individual, you know exactly who that person is. Does it mean the person cannot change? No. But what I say is this: all you can do is bank on character. You see, there are some men who tends to act like they don't even know what they are doing. You ask yourself that you want a great woman in your life, and then you hook up with prostitutes, and then you say you cannot find a good girl, and then you say all the ladies are street girls. You are engaging with the street girls, with the prostitute, and you are hoping to have a wife. So you have a bad character. Your character cannot be reliable. You cannot even control yourself. And then you are seeking for a woman who can endure and who can actually control herself and can have a good character that will please you. Hypocrisy on a different level. So what is the Bible saying? It says, not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. Whenever I hear people say they are going for therapy, I'm asking, what kind of therapy are you going for? Your mother died today, you want to go for therapy. Your brother had an accident for therapy. Your mom slapped you when you were little, you are going for therapy. Your boss screamed at you, you went for therapy. Every little thing in today's society, everybody is therapeutic. No character, no endurance, no resilience. Everybody therapeutic section here and there. When you have been through things and when you have been through suffering, what suffering does is that it builds your character. And when it builds your character, you become reliable. When you build a good character through suffering, you become reliable. When you do not endure something, how can you have good character? When you don't even know what you can be resilient to, when you don't even know what you can endure as people. Now you ask some people, what does it take to have a man? See list. He must have a car. He must have this. He must have that. He must speak good English. He must have his PhD, OPC, BSc, STD, all kinds of certificates that he has to have. But they never talk about the character of the man. Why? She has no character. When you do not have character, what you do is you begin to put your expectations on other people. When you do not have character, nobody can truly depend on you. And what the Bible is saying is that in life, we are all going to experience certain things. And part of the things that we are going to experience is suffering. Either you are married, you will suffer. If you are not married, all those people who come ahead to you and tell you that I'm a happy, single, independent person, they are suffering. They are all suffering. I do not care the English you have to tell me. I do not care. Call me ignorant, call me myopic, call me dumb, call me an illiterate. You are suffering. When you see a man who wants to come into your life and is the kind of man that you desire, you see how they jump like monkey on that man. You are suffering. But the idea is this: you might be suffering the suffering that you created for yourself, or life gives you some challenges, which is your suffering. You use through that suffering to build yourself up. So either way, we all are suffering. The difference between us is the character. Character can only be built when you endure and you learn the lessons in life. This is why I always tell people, if you want to get married to a good woman or a good man, go and see the family of the person. The purpose of going to see the family is to see where the character of the individual comes from. The apple does not fall far from the tree. When there are no good character in the family, the person is most likely pretending. Just give the person some tests. And if the person truly has good character, it would influence his family to act in a good way. Because when you have good character, when you build up your character, you become an influence. If your community does not influence you to build the kind of character you have, if you build a reliable character, you would influence your community. You will influence your people. You will tell them, regardless of the fact that we have been living life this way, this is what I have built through endurance, through experiences of life. There's nothing you want to tell me. This is who I am as a person. This is what I've experienced. This is what I've built myself to be. So Romans says, not only that, but we rejoice in our suffering. We rejoice in our suffering. And I tell people this every single time. Some of you go through a lot of challenges and you don't want to. Every time you speak with people, you just want to talk about your pains in life. I can remember certain conversations I was having with people, and I tell them, that's why is it that anytime we want to talk, you want to tell me how painful your life has been. I have forgotten too many pains that I've been through in my life. I can only remember the lessons I've learned in my life. Because when we are holding on to our suffering, we are still bleeding and regretting of our life. We have not moved on. We have not built good character out of the experience. In fact, it is easy for you to know people who does not have character. You see, women kind of have some instincts to be able to predict some men. A strong man. When you begin to cry to a woman who tends to be your wife, every single time you complain to her, you know, women today, they'll tell you, I want a man with an open heart, a man who can tell me everything about himself. You want to know everything about a human being. When you begin to tell her everything about yourself, how you sleep, what your day is like, some people will tell me about anything. Your day, your sleep, your waking, your like, oh, God bless you. I'm not interested in telling you everything I've been through. Because what I've been through, I've built the kind of person I am. What we are today is we have to focus on how we can move forward. And when women begin to see that you complain and you talk about your past and the rest of it, she instinctively knows that you are not reliable. Just because a woman tell you, oh, talk to me about all your problem. When you say it, all your problem in her life, you know, the first day she will say no problem. 6 months she will say no problem. In the next 1 year, she'll be like, your problem is excessive. You are not growing. In fact, I've seen individuals that we talk about different subjects, and regardless of our subject, they keep holding on to the past. And I'm like, if you are holding on to the past, it's simply because you have not built the character to be able to move forward. You are just where you are. Anybody can make money. Anybody can be successful. Anybody can buy a mansion. Anybody can travel all over the world. In fact, in today's society, fools make it easy. On social media, it is easy to be a foolish person and you travel around the world. They would bring you to all kinds of shows. But one thing is this: do you have character? Please, for those of you who are still joining me live, put up a thumbs up. Thumbs up. Whenever we go through suffering, there is a purpose for that suffering. And the purpose behind the suffering is that there's something that we don't know. The only reason why we go through suffering is because there's a purpose. And the purpose behind the suffering is because there's something that we did not know. When we know what we should know, we cannot undergo that particular kind of suffering. Your suffering will be updated, upgraded. How many times do they tell you to update your WhatsApp? How many times did they tell you to update your YouTube? How many times did they tell you to update? Everything in life has been updated. Our parents used to use a wooden table. Right now we are using glass tables because everything is being upgraded. So if you are repeating the same suffering over and over again, it is basically because you are not upgrading. And it simply means you have not learned from your past suffering. You still need to learn the lessons. No wonder some people will keep screaming, "He broke my heart. She broke my heart. He broke my heart after 2 years. You broke my heart. You broke my heart." Look at one thing. The same mentality is what they take into the next relationship. And so the suffering part is their heart. Their heart will keep doing boa, boa, boa. Because while you are going through something in life, you should understand that this suffering you are going through is not going to last forever, only if you quickly learn the lessons and you grow through it. I remembered when they wanted to put me in jail and the police came to arrest me. I made a video when I came back from jail, and I said, and I messed up the mind of those people who put me in jail. I told them, I said, the best thing you have ever done was to put me in jail. And I said, either it is the best or the worst. Because the day they came to arrest me, I found the good things in it. I was in one of my barbing salon that I just established at that particular point, and they were tracing me everywhere, and they came to the salon. They tried to arrest me over and over again. When I see them, I knew they were coming for me. I would just stay back. The organization knew I've already reported their case to the state CID, so they went to a higher authority. And when the police were coming, I told my wife, I said, not that I cannot follow this law enforcement. I said, I will make them walk. And when they came to arrest me that particular day, they came with multiple police. There are about 3 vans that came. And then they arrested me. And when I came back from jail, I told them, I said, I was glad you guys arrested me. You arrested me like a senator. You didn't arrest me like a casual person. When I saw the police everywhere with guns, I was laughing, I was happy. When I knew I did not kill somebody, when I knew I did not commit any crime, when I knew it was just false allegation, so arrest me, I might go to jail, I might be through pain and the rest of it, but that is not going to shape me at all. I see the moments of my life to be a blessing, regardless of what I need to be through or what I have to undergo. Just in the jail time I spent over 2 months, 10 days, I came up with a lot of writing, with a lot of book, with a lot of experience. I wrote jotters. I have about 4 of these jotters, writing them of my prison experience. I saw people living a different kind of life. I saw different experiences because I'm an introverted person. I really don't go out that much. And that particular experience showed me what is happening in a different world. And it broadens my understanding. Before I went to jail, I have been on YouTube for over 4 months. When I went to jail, I was in 225. For over 4 months, 225 subscribers. Then I saw that I had a lot of gifts inside of me that I was taking for granted. And then I said, when I come out, I will be one of the greatest person. I would grow my YouTube channel, and I will make sure I can influence people, because I saw that a lot of people need certain messages. And in that, I built a character. Within the period of 4 months when I came out of jail, I am in 2,000 subscribers. Now 2,270. There is always something inside of it. 4 months before I entered, I was in 225. 4 months after I came out, I was in 2,270. That is what suffering can do to you. It can motivate you depending on the lessons you are learning. Some people would have been in jail at the same time and say, I was not supposed to be here. I saw a lot of them. And you see them taking all kinds of drugs, colos, all kinds of alcohol, all kinds of drugs, all kinds of things that begins to damage them. Their families are waiting for them to come out. Their families are struggling that their people would be out of jail. But out of the pain they have been through, rather than it to build them, it destroys them. In your suffering, you always have a choice. And the choice is, would you build yourself through it, or will you destroy yourself through it? That is always up to us as individuals. Let us take some moments and go into the passage. Philippians chapter 3 verse 13 to 14. Philippians Philippians 3, right? Chapter 13 to 14. And here's what it says. It says, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before, I press towards the mark of the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Philippians chapter 3 verse 13 to 14. I repeat again. It says, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before, I press towards the mark of the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Maliko Sondaya. Please note, I'm not a pastor. I am I am not a man of God. I am just a brother to tell you certain truth. Let us look at it one more time, and then we proceed on it. It says, brethren, I count not myself to have this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before, I press towards the mark of the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. What does this particular statement mean? There are certain individuals who would hold on to the past. My father did this to me, my mother did this to me, and with that being said, it becomes my identity. Some people's experience or some people's identity is based off their past experience. They hold on to the past experience rather for them to build themselves through it and move forward. They will hold on to the past. No one is special in life. The principles of life would not change for anyone. When you keep holding on to what has happened behind you or what has happened in the past and you are not learning from it, and the only thing is this: growth only happens to humans when they learn. Growth only happens to men when they become resilient and they build themselves up through certain experience. These are part of the things you can use to identify your friends. These are the things you can use to identify your wife. These are the things you can use to identify your husband. These are the things you need to use to identify yourself. Something happened to me. Am I still holding on to the past? If yes, I am my problem. Because when you despise something, it is simply because you don't understand. Understanding is the reason why people have hatred. When people misunderstanding and you cannot comprehend something, then you despise it. When you do not understand that some people are saying negative things to you because they are not feeling happy within themselves and their life is miserable, you become miserable. You become hateful towards them. But when you understand that their life is miserable, that is why they are trying to make you miserable. When you have that understanding, what do you have? You have compassion for them. So the principles of life does not change. Knowing fully well that people have done things to you in the past. You have experienced a lot in the past. You have suffered in the past. The question is, have you learned the lessons? No wonder some people will be in relationship and they keep talking about their exes. It is very good. It is very easy for you to know a woman who have not moved on or a man who have not moved on. What they talk about in their current relationship is about their ex. Can I tell you something? You say, oh, all right, feel free to talk to me about something. As I was moving on in my life and the rest of it, I went to my job and somebody said something and it reminded me of my ex. I'm like, okay, we have a problem here. Meshionogi. When you see them in their relationship, all the thing they talk about is ex. In fact, you begin to think they are the new Elon Musk who bought Twitter. X, 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 my ex, my ex, my ex, my ex, X, X, X. They have not moved on from the past. If you do not forget those things that have happened in your past and you leave them at the past, only what you can do is use your past to build your character. Learn. Character simply means what you have experienced and you have embodied certain things by learning and improving yourself towards it, and you move ahead and you forget the experience. Sometimes I tell people like, my house have been burnt twice, and then I remember it was 4 times. Because if my house is burnt 100 times, what differences is it going to make in my life? I want the whole world to sympathize with me that I have the most horrible life. I want the whole world to be afraid and say, oh, you are so special because I've been through hell. You know, one beautiful thing jail taught me, jail showed me how how unvaluable my life was, how unimportant I am. I realized that if I die, bam, nothing will happen. The world will move on. I'm like, wow, that was a great experience. The same people I was fighting for, the same community I was fighting for, most of them were mocking me. I understand, but I saw how important I was. I realized something. One of the things I wrote when I was in jail was I realized the fact that I love my wife, I love my children, I love my home, I love the family I've created, I love everything that God has given to me. All these things are only happening because I'm still alive. If I am dead, I wouldn't even know who loved them and who don't love them. They will weep, but they will move on. Regardless of the fact that the same thing happened to me, I lost my father when I was young, but I realized I moved on. Because in life, you are not that much important. Stop taking your suffering. Stop taking your situations. Stop looking at what has happened in the past and put value on it and think that has become your identity. And making it your pride. Do you know what I've been through? Do you know what I've seen? Do you know what I've been through? No more resilience. When I talk to people, I say, hey, everybody, you ought to rush to therapy. In fact, people are so proud of therapy these days. Booking section. Some of them can have 32 therapists. After you see this one, you see this one, you see this one, you talk to this one, you talk to this one. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm like, look at these individuals, look at their character. And you will see that they have not really built character. Why? Because they could not deal with what has happened in their past. And why can't you deal with your past? Is simply because you do not have the understanding that you have to be conscious and live at the moment, using the experiences of the past to build yourself up so you can flourish in life. Maliko Sondaya. We will look at a particular passage right now because this one is going to narrate a little bit different. Galatians chapter 6 verse 9. Galatians chapter 6 verse 9. Let's see what Galatians has to say. Galatians 6 verse 9. What did he say? He says, and let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. Wave your hand onto your phone. Double tap your screen and like. That is how you wave your hand for me. That's the technological religious way. Double tap your screen, show thumbs up. What did it say again? Galatians 6 verse 9. It says, and let us not be weary in well-doing. Don't get tired of doing good. For in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. This particular stuff is so inspirational. What is he saying actually? Let us even take some time to dissect it. Regardless of whatever you have been through, you have no reason to stop doing good. Regardless of your experience in life, that shouldn't build any reason of not doing good. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be careful. Or else, some people have done good and they've been through hell. Have you learned the lessons? But that shouldn't stop you from doing good. In fact, a good character, when you build reliable, Good character, it fosters you to be a good, better person. And when you are a better person and good, you cannot give what you don't have. So when you are good, you can actually give to people. So when he says, and let us not be weary in well doing. For, listen, for in due season we shall reap. Some people do not believe in the word karma. Some people do not believe in anything. Some people don't believe in spirituality. All I marvel at is their stupidity. When you plant a seed in the ground, it germinates and it gives you a tree and it produces fruit for you in every food you eat. When you put in a sperm and you participate in sexual act, it gives you pregnancy and you have children. But because you are limited, like one of my audience who would always say, you are myopic. You are so myopic and narrow in the way you see things that you are not vast to understand that even in your attitude, they multiply in time. What you do multiply in time. The success you accomplish, it was not one day work. It was day after day you begin to put in the work. And after a period of time, you have the kind of success you have. That is sowing and reaping. But what it is saying is that in due season, we shall reap. That means there is a time and a season for everything on the surface of this earth, like Ecclesiastes says. And if you know the due season, knowing the right time, you would reap whatever you sow. You reap whatever you are doing to humans. You reap whatever you have been doing to people. Now, do not think that when you have to reap what you've sowed, don't think you are the only one that will reap it. No. You will reap it, and those that follows you, those that engage themselves with you, in fact, those that know nothing about it. And it says something at the end. It says, if we faint not. So, if we faint not, that particular subject talks about doing good is not just the key. Continuously doing good is the best thing. How many people have you seen in your life that have been so good to other people and people take them for granted, and then they meet up with you and you see the goodness of what they've done and you say, I want to make this person my friend? Because the person has not stopped doing good regardless of their experience. Those are for those who know how to select good friend though. If we faint not, that means if you can read it carefully, if you don't continuously learn to do good, if you don't stop continuously doing good, there is a season that that goodness will come. But if you stop, that's why it says, if we faint not. If you faint, the possibility that everything you have been working for, if you give up, you cannot win. When AJ was fighting, what did they call his name? When Deontay Wilder was fighting Tyson Fury, if Deontay Wilder did not give up and he kept fighting, he most likely would have come up with a power shot. The first time, he was very resilient. He was fighting Tyson Fury with everything. Regardless of the fact that Tyson Fury kept beating him, he's more skillful. He was so better than Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder kept eating all the beating, and then Deontay Wilder gave him a serious punch because he was resilient, because he did not stop punching. And then Tyson Fury went to the canvas and he fell. The second time, the third time, Deontay Wilder forgot what made him what he was. And he started fainting in the fight. And then Tyson Fury began to whoop him left and right. Do not faint. Life is tough. Life is tough. But make a choice what you decide to do. Understanding fully well that there is a space for you to grow in life. Knowing that the type of people you should allow into your life are those with character. But know it fully well that you have to have that character yourself to be able to identify the right characters in your life. Some people will say, I just want friends who are motivating, who are successful and all of that. You are going to gain success because you push yourself around people who are successful financially. But success to everyone is subjective. I always tell people, I understand my life. I understand certain things in my life, and I make a decision to live through those things. I always tell people this. I do not have the vision to be a billionaire. I do not have a vision to be a billionaire for any reason. Maybe it looks impossible, but being a billionaire does not build my character. I have built certain character until date, and I begin to grow with that character, and it is giving me a balanced life. I'm not saying my life is better than anybody's life. I remembered when my wife was pregnant for my first child, I was afraid. Not because I did not have money. Not because I did not have things. No. The money was not the problem. The house was not the problem. I was afraid. Who will I be to my child? It occurred to me that I was a horrible person. Because I used to fight. If you think you're crazy, just come to me, challenge me one way or the other. Trust me. My life was just like an handkerchief. I would just put it, oh, you want my life? I am ready to give you. You might be thinking of fighting with me. I'm thinking of dying for you. Dying with you. And then it occurred to me when I begin to see that I want to have a child. And I was afraid of myself. But what did I do? I put it upon myself that during the period when my wife was pregnant, I was going to build character. It took me 1.5, almost 2 years to build this character. I started meditation practice. I began to revisit all my gifts in life. It made me who I am. I began to pay attention to my spiritual part. All these natural gifts I knew I had, but I wasn't using them simply because of the lust for engagement in the society. I knew I needed certain individuals in my life. I chose my wife simply because of character, nothing else. Wow. Did somebody bless me? Someone gave me $1. And I turned off my comment section. I appreciate. I possibly would see it because my chat was on Eden before I came live. So in a nutshell, please, I was actually rounding up before the blessing came in. Offering of the day came in. And I tell people this, I only focus on the most important things in my life. Let us just focus on read lastly Proverbs 38-9. That is the last book for today. And okay, let's go Proverbs 38-9. Should I do that, or let me go James? Let's look at Luke 18, 1-8. Let's just touch on a little subject on resilience a little bit before we round up. Luke 18, 1-8. Um, Luke 18. Luke 18, 1 to 8. And this was Jesus speaking, and he says, "And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not faint." Jesus was talking to his disciples about them being resilient, pray, request, and not faint. And then his parable goes this way, says, saying, in verse 2, "There was in a city a judge which feared not God, gathered, neither regarded man." There was in a city a judge which feared not God, neither regarded man. And there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, "Avenge me of mine adversary, avenge me of the things that they've done unto me." And there was a widow, okay, and he would not for a while. But afterward he said within himself, "Though I fear not God, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubleth me, I would avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me." And the Lord said, "Hear what the unjust just said. And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he would avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on earth?" To me, my answer is, I am not sure. I don't know about that. But Luke chapter 18 verse 1 to 8 was actually talking about the parable. Talking about a particular widow who tends to be a resilient woman, who has actually built a character. That there is an individual that does not even fear God. The person does not even fear man. He doesn't honor both God and man. But she kept going to this particular judge, asking him to avenge for something. And then, when the man saw that this woman is resilient, he had to occur to him to answer the woman's request. Some people, we wear pride. We wear pride like garments. And then when we ask somebody for something, we are like, nah. If he's not giving me right now, it's not my time. I have to move forward. Do you have character to be submissive? Because one good thing character does is that it makes you submissive. And it makes you also know your limits. I can say it for a fact. I do not know if anyone knows his limits better than me. I have mastered the act of my limits. Because when you have character, you know what you cannot do. You know that there is nothing anyone can do to make you do something. The idea of your character, when you have strong character, is that it makes you humble. Humble and make you resilient. Resilient knowing your ability and your capacity. If you ask me to do certain things, I do not care what you wish me in my life. You see, I always tell people, before I went to jail, they proposed a lot of millions, a lot of business, a lot of endorsements to me. All I have to do is to align with the organization and allow my community to suffer. So they can just keep extorting my community people. And even the community I'm fighting for, they don't give a damn about me. But I know that if I break that particular side of me and I say, oh, let me go for the money. Money means nothing to me. I have experienced money. The first time I experienced 15 million naira, I don't know what to do with my life. Because all my life, the highest money I ever have in all my life before that point was 50,000 naira. 100,000. Let's say maximum 100,000. And then I had 15 million. I realized that money means nothing. Is it important? Yes. Do I need it? Yes. Am I working for it? Yes. But when you build character, money is not the primary goal. Money is just an attachment. So when they were giving me the money, I would make a video. They gave me a land and I have built shops on all those land. I built multiple shops. Over 9 shops were on that land. I own those particular shops. They said they fenced that particular property because I was not aligning with them against my community. They promised to make me, what did they call it? What they did to endorsements. So I will start advertising for them because they know I know how to talk. But I can't break that character of me because it is a betrayer. That is my limit point. That limit, there's nothing you can do. I betray my society, my community, where my children will grow. Let's even assume my children will not grow. But I will jeopardize the life of other people and see other people suffer just so that me and my children can flourish. Nah! I would rather die. So when they put me in jail, I'm like, thank God I'm not dead. Jail is just an experience. Lie, at least the truth will be revealed. Now when it gets to time for us to go to court, they are running. When someone does not have character, that is when you see a woman saying that my money is my money. Your money is our money. And some men will say, that's just a woman's life. No, you are choosing a woman with a bad character. Let me now read the last one. Proverbs chapter 30. So I can let you go for those who want to go to their church. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 8 to 9. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal, and take the name of my God in vain. Oh, blood of God. Put a thumbs up. One more thumbs up. That's how you wave your hands. Proverbs chapter 30 verse 8 to 9. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies. If it doesn't make sense, I ain't doing it. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. I don't want to be poor. I am not focusing on riches. Leave us where we are. We are convenient. It says that feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full, I overeat, and I will deny you, God, and say, who is the Lord? That's why you see rich people, a lot of wealthy rich people, you see that they cannot acknowledge God. No more character. They've eaten, and you cannot be satisfied. Or lest I be poor and steal. I remember those days I would tell God, I say, God, do not let me poor. Don't let me suffer too much. He said, because I would break your principle. I have built this character. Help me by your grace so that I can do a lot.
Feed me with food that convenient me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, Who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal, and take the name of God, of my God, in vain. Neither focus so much on riches. And you see, there is a reason why you see that most men of God today, they begin to extort a lot of church members, because they have the mindset of poverty, or they have a mindset of excessive riches. Which is, when you have the mindset of poverty, you want to steal from those who are actually struggling. In fact, it is more easy for a thief to steal from those who are suffering than to steal from the rich people. Why? Rich people actually have connection and they have more securities. So the problem of a thief is that a thief oppresses the oppressed. A thief does not have, is oppressed, but he oppresses the oppressed. Those who are full, they can eat and become so greedy that they do not care about any other person. With that being said, know your limits even in riches. Know your limits even in poverty. Know the thing that you cannot accept. There's a proverb in the Yoruba culture. It says, nǹkan tí ò lè gbà lólówó tálíkà ló máa ti ń kọ́. Nǹkan tí ò bá lè gbà lólówó tálíkà ló ti ń kọ́. That simply means that when you build your character, what you are not going to accept when you are rich, do not accept it when you don't have. That's how you know a rich person. That's how you know a mindset that is filled with riches, character. Not the lady that will say, the reason why I went into prostitution was basically because my mom and my sisters and my siblings, they had nothing. That's why I went into prostitution. But I've been able to make it in life. I can never go into prostitution. If life hits them, they will go back. It is as simple as ABC. With that being said, we have come to today's end of the show. We have spoken about endurance. We have spoken about suffering. We have spoken about all these things. At the end of the day, the most important thing I've talked about is the idea of building your character. Knowing not to hold on to what has happened to you in the past, but moving forward with your life. Learning the lessons in the part of your experience of life. Oh, it's Dirty Coin. Long time, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I have put myself in a condition that I do not even know how to open. Okay, I think, what is going on? Oopsie. What did I do to myself? Oh, I will never go back to this thing again. No, I did not know that when you put chat in hide, that simply means you cannot unhide the chat. But I was able to see JT Coins. Thank you very much, sir. I really do appreciate. With that being said, I cannot open my chat again. I have used my hand to do myself. So I have learned right now that I cannot open up the chat once the chats are hidden. So next time, by God's grace, I'll be able to have more chats and the rest of it. That's part of the experience of life. You see, God is trying to make me also learn. And I've been using YouTube for so long, I never hide chats. But today I did it, and I was preaching about endurance and improving and learning. And so I've learned my lessons. With that being said, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel, like and share. Maybe I'll be live later this evening, probably with the Enlightened One, like we actually discussed before. But if not, I will definitely be on live this evening to have a few conversations with you guys, my brothers and sisters. Please take good care of yourself. Have a great day. Adios, amigos, and take care of your family. Bye-bye for now.